I'm 27 male, have always known my mother favored my stepsister. Ever since she married my stepfather when I was 10, it was clear who mattered more. My stepsister got everything: new clothes, the latest gadgets, a car on her 16th birthday. Meanwhile, I was expected to be independent. I worked after school, bought my own clothes, saved every penny I could. I knew they treated me differently, but I never thought they'd steal from me. I moved out as soon as I turned 18 and worked my way up in construction management. I lived frugally, took extra shifts, and saved every dollar I could. By the time I was 27, I had a solid savings account, over $50,000. I planned to use it for a down payment on a house. Then one night, I logged into my bank account and nearly had a heart attack. My savings were gone. At first, I thought it was a glitch. I refreshed the page. Still zero. My hand started shaking as I checked my transaction history. A wire transfer from my account to my mother's. I called her immediately. She picked up after a few rings, sounding casual like nothing had happened. "Hey, sweetie, what's wrong?" I didn't even bother with small talk. "Where's my money?" There was a pause, then a sigh. "Oh, that. We had to use it. It was for something important." I could feel my pulse in my ears. "What do you mean we had to use it? That was my savings." "You don't have to yell," she said, like I was the one being unreasonable. "We needed it for your sister's apartment." I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath me. "What?" She sighed again, like I was being dramatic. "Your sister needed a place, and it made more sense to buy instead of renting. It's an investment. One day you'll thank us." I was shaking with rage. "You stole my money to buy my stepsister an apartment?" She scoffed. "It's not stealing. We're family." I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. "You have 48 hours to return every cent, or I'm calling the cops." She laughed. "Oh, honey, don't be ridiculous. You wouldn't do that to your own mother." I hung up, and then I did exactly that. The next morning, I filed a police report for fraud and theft. Since my mother wasn't on my account and had no authorization to transfer funds, it was legally considered fraud. Given the amount, over $50,000, it was a felony. It didn't take long before my mother called, screaming. The police came to the house. "What did you do?" I leaned back in my chair, feeling nothing. "I told you. Give me my money back, or I press charges." "You laughed, so I called the cops." She started sobbing, talking about how I was ruining the family. Then my stepfather took the phone, trying to sound reasonable. "Look, son, you need to drop this. It's just money. Your sister needed a place. Family helps family." "Oh, really?" I said. "So if it's just money, you can pay me back right now." Silence. "We don't have it," he admitted finally. "Then that's your problem, not mine." The police investigation moved quickly. Since my mother had admitted on the phone that she took the money, and I had bank statements to prove it, the case was solid. They could be looking at serious jail time. That's when my mother went into full damage control mode. She called every relative, crying about how I was sending her to prison. I ignored them all. Then my stepsister texted me, saying, "You're ruining my life. Just let it go. Let go. Let go of the money I spent nearly a decade saving." Not happening. Then my stepfather tried bribery. "We can give you $5,000 right now if you drop the charges." I laughed. $5,000? They stole over 50. "I'm not negotiating," I said. "I want every cent, or we go to court." That's when they got desperate. I got a letter from a lawyer, their lawyer. They were now trying to claim that I had gifted them the money as a family contribution. I lost it. I forwarded everything. The texts, the bank statements, the voicemail where my mother admitted to taking the money, to my lawyer. A week later, my lawyer sent back a response. Either they return my money, or we go to trial. And then I found the perfect revenge. The apartment they bought for my stepsister, it wasn't fully paid off. They had taken out a mortgage in my mother's name, expecting to use my savings for payments. Without my money, they were completely screwed. They had two choices. 1, sell the apartment and pay me back. 2, go to jail for felony theft. Guess which one they picked? They dragged their feet, but reality hit fast. The bank was breathing down their necks, and without my money, they couldn't afford the mortgage. They had to sell. Once it was sold, I got every single cent back. But the damage was already done. My stepsister lost her apartment and had to move back home, furious at my mother and stepfather for ruining her life. My stepfather's reputation took a massive hit. Turns out, stealing from your own kid isn't a great look. He lost his job. And my mother? She's still bitter. She tells everyone that I betrayed the family, that I'm a heartless son who turned his back on his own mother. I don't care. She stole from me and thought she could get away with it because we were family. But family doesn't mean a free pass to steal, lie, and manipulate. I haven't spoken to them since. And honestly, I don't miss them. Karma did exactly what it was supposed to do. Moral of the story? Don't steal from someone who has receipts. Oh, and if you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button, unless you think stealing is fine as long as it's for family.